Welcome back. You're watching Last Tick with me, Shweta Kothari. With me is also Suyash Maheshwari here in the studio. We ended today's markets session. It was a flattish opening, but it was also the last trading session for 2023. Suyash, what a year it has been. Run us through, firstly the highlights of the day.
Certainly, Shweta. So it was a rather an anticlimactic end to what was otherwise a phenomenal 2023. We have, in fact, as we speak, snapped the 5-day winning run on Nifty, and Nifty has closed about marginally lower. It was down about 0.22%, as you can see on your screen, at 21,731 mark, whereas Sensex gave away about 170 points or so and ended below the 72,300 sort of levels. But then, although we corrected slightly and we saw some bit of a profit booking take place, we are just about 40-50 points shy of the record high levels on Nifty that I'm talking about. So we are essentially there. We are ending the year on a record high. Moving on to the broader markets, for them, I think it was an appropriate end to the year. Both mid-cap and the small-cap indices, let's talk about the entire 2023. They have rallied somewhere around 45 to 55% in the year. And in fact, today, also both indices have closed at a record high. The mid-cap index closed at 46,000. It climbed that mark for the very first time on the last day of trading of 2023. The small-cap index, which remember had seen a very sharp correction last week on Wednesday, it has clawed back all those losses, and in fact we have managed to end above 15,000, which was seen as a critical hurdle for the index, and we have closed meaningfully above that. We have closed above 15,100 sort of mark.
But you wouldn't call it anticlimactic. I mean, come to think of it, sort of a flattish closing with the record highs that the markets have seen this year, a 0.22% sort of in the red for Nifty, not too bad.
I mean, the kind of return.
I'm optimistic.
We have to be optimistic, and there is a reason for being optimistic. What happened last week? Last week on Wednesday, we saw a big shakeout. The index gave away about 1.5% or so. The broader markets corrected by 3 to 4%. From there on, we have seen a phenomenal recovery. Not only all three indices, the mid cap, the small cap, and the large caps, they managed to recoup all the losses. They have in fact moved higher about 1% or 2 into uncharted territory, and we have in fact ended at a record high levels. I think the reason why I'm calling it anticlimactic, and it's a stretch then again, is that we were hoping for Nifty to end at 22,000. We did not get there, but
about
I think
270 points shy of that 22,000 mark.
Yes, but I think what bulls will celebrate more is the very sharp recovery that we saw in the last 4-5 sessions. And another thing and another point to celebrate is this fall in volatility. Now, India VIX, remember, on Wednesday's session, it had surged past the 16 mark. It was at a 9-month high. We saw a slip yesterday. Today it has slipped, in fact, below the 15 mark. It corrected by about 4% or so. Now, what does this tell us? Now, typically, one would expect, at a time when the markets are moving higher, the volatility will also keep rising. But that's not what's happening. The volatility is falling at a time when the market is rising. What does this tell us? Right? That bulls are not only, certain that they can take the markets higher, they are also certain of the fact that the markets will not see any major correction. And that, Shweta, is pretty much an anomaly. And even if you look at the broader strength of the index, the advanced decline ratio, even though we ended in the red, the advanced decline ratio is slightly in the favor of the bulls. And it's pretty much, it's the last trading session of 2023. We are in fact on a Friday. We go on a 3-day holiday, so the volumes were also fairly thin, and there was not much participation. And we'll get the FII flows by the day's end, somewhere on the evening. But overall, the reason for today's correction can be explained by a bit of thin volumes and some bit of a profit booking ahead of this 3-day break that we are going on.
Absolutely, the 3-day break, and we begin with next year, the next calendar year that starts Monday. I also, before I let you go, quick few seconds, the top gainers and losers for the day.
Surely, Shweta. Let's talk about the sectors first, because it was a mixed bag for the sectors. The Nifty banking index, which in fact was scaling a brilliant rally in December. It was a laggard for the majority of 2023, surged by about 8% or so. That gave away some of the gains. It ended about 0.5% lower. at around 48,000 mark, above it, so that's good. And other sectors such as your IT pack, they lost a bit of momentum. They were seeing a good bit of a turnaround. But then again, the auto pack, the momentum, the sectors which were showing momentum continue to show momentum.
Absolutely.
As you can see in your auto pack, we have seen a tremendous rally this year in the auto space. They have rallied by about 46% or so. And even in fact today, we ended 2023 on a high. FMCG, which by the way had been a laggard for the majority of this for the year, that performed and that came out and rose about 0.85% or so. Media, realty stocks, metal stocks, all of them participated in the rally. On the other side, PSU banks, now again, the kind of returns
some sort of
that
profit
we have
booking
seen,
on PSU banks there.
again, because it's the end of the year, traders are taking some profits off the table. They want to go
profits,
out, buy gifts for their children. It's the festivities
so
after all.
profit booking happening there.
Definitely. And if you talk about the gainers and losers, now Tata Motors this year alone has turned a multi-bagger. The stock is up over 103% or so, and in fact it was among the best performers today. It was the second best performer with a rally of about 3.38%, ended at record high levels of about 780 rupees. Tata Consumers was another stock from the Tata group of companies that participated in this rally. The stock was up 4.61% and ended about at levels of about 1090. Bajaj Auto, remember Bajaj Auto was another stock that has given phenomenal returns in 2023. The stock has rallied by about 90% or thereabouts. It was also one of the top gainers today, and it ended about 1.74% higher at 6820 levels. Nestle India, Adani Enterprises showing some bit of a turnaround. Nestle India, remember, that stock is due for a stock split, so perhaps some bit of liquidity will come in the counter. And Adani Enterprises, remember, since January 24, when the Hindenburg report came out, the stock lost as much as 50-60%. From the year's low, it has in fact rallied by about 180%, but it's still about 25-26% of its year's high. So Adani Enterprises was another stock which ended 2023 on a high, up about 1.4%. On the other side, BPCL was a top loser in today's trade. The stock was down about 3.18%. SBI, after a bit of up move in the last couple of weeks, saw some bit of a profit booking that corrected by about 1.5% and ended below the 650 levels. ONGC, another stock which saw losses of about 1.3% or so, ended at 205.5 levels. Infosys, remember this week we had the big news where a global player has terminated a memorandum of understanding for a $1.5 billion AI contract for the company. We saw some bit of a profit booking take place over there, but not on the scale one would expect after losing a $1.5 billion contract, right? But again, the stock is under some bit of weakness, and Coal India, that is correcting from higher levels. It's at a 16-year high, so profit booking there as well.
All right, Suyash, thank you very much for all those details. That is as far as the day's markets action is concerned. But with that, it's a wrap on the show. Once again, wishing all our viewers a very, very happy New Year's.
Seeing is believing. Or is it? You know it's true when you hear it yourself. Am I right? Or wrong? These are your favorite celebrities that you saw in the videos. But what if I told you that they are not? Welcome to the world of deepfakes. These celebrities were caught in the web of deepfakes. So what if I told you that you could be next? AI has entered our lives and it's here to stay. But what's more scary is how artificial intelligence is being misused to impersonate or create videos with people who have nothing to do with it. The biggest casualties are the celebrities with star power. People like Kajol, Alia Bhatt, Katrina Kaif, Rashmika Mandanna. So basically the queen bees of Bollywood have been targeted. So, what makes you think that you are safe?
Today, deepfake is one of the biggest challenges that the digital ecosystem is facing, and particularly in an Indian context. Now, some major celebrities and actresses have been targeted, including Alia Bhatt, including Katrina Kaif, Rashmika Mandanna. But they are not going to be alone. Everybody is going to be targeted.
It needn't be that you need to have the exact pictures. They can make progressions on your face, right? They can age you. They can change your structure or your face in such a way that it will look like this is you in 10 years or so. And if that can happen, imagine what they can do with your pictures that are available right now and morph it into a very walking, talking image of you doing or saying something completely different than what you've not been a part of at all.
So it's very dangerous, because now everybody has a smartphone in their hands. Everybody has a camera, and all these AI technology is available for free. And you don't even have to go to the dark web for it. You just do one Google search and all these apps come up.
What are we using this for become a huge issue. Are we using this to fake things and create propaganda and create changing mindsets?
AI generated deepfakes, audios and videos will create a havoc. You can damage the brand of an individual by creating a deepfake using the AI.
When it happens to an actor, they are well known enough for people to be responsible and say, don't forward it and let's not share these videos. And the police and the system sort of comes around. Imagine it happening to your daughter, your sister, your friends, your neighbors, people who don't have that kind of clout. There it is really a problem.
Your ear is not yet accustomed to go ahead and distinguish whether the audio that you are actually listening is that of a real person or is being generated by deepfakes. This is more so because of the advancement of deepfake as a technology.
Even the people who are experts cannot identify what is deepfake and what is real. That's the big problem.
People should be under no misconception that they are ordinary people, they are not celebrities, and then they cannot be targeted. Sorry. Today, deepfake is here to bite every digital user.
It's very scary to even think about the magnitude at which this can be exploited if not contained right now.
As the deepfake threat intensifies, the world is struggling to make sense of it and control it. So how do you make sense of a vast and ever-expanding digital world which only existed in your imagination, people's imagination till a few years ago? So there are no rules out here, no codes, no precedent for this terrifying technology space. So where do you even start?